got one speaker showing.
Let me see.
How about now, folks? Anybody hear me? Oh, now we got two. Scott, say something.
Something. Test.
Testing.
Nothing?
Hearing a little bit now.
Or is that better there?
His is
Maybe.
green. It's green, so yeah, yours is
It just says hearing a little bit now.
Can't hear a little bit now. Oh, they're hearing off the phone.
blue. Volume is low.
Volume is low on where?
I don't know.
How do you turn up the volume on a phone, Carol Ann? I can't see this with one eye. Ah, that's what the problem is.
That's all the way up.
Okay.
And it's not on mute.
Sound working now.
That's what it was. All right, folks, if you can hear us, we're going to check out and try and restart just as quick as we can. Good night.
We'll say goodnight, don't leave it.
What?
We'll say goodnight, we're not leaving.
Oh.
Turn this shit off here.
What in the hell could be?
Okay,
Okay,
she said.
hear you now.
Hear you now.
Yeah, they can hear us now because we're talking to the phone's
Yeah.
microphone.
Yeah, tell her, okay.
So you want to just try and talk
Yeah.
loud and see what happens?
Restarted.
Okay, no, we're gonna restart.
Yeah, she wants about 10
Well,
minutes here.
you know what you can do? Cut it to wide angle and move up closer, Carol Ann, and just
Okay.
use the phone's mic.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Here I go.
Turn it off.
Nope, excuse me. Excuse me. And
Can you hear us now, somebody?
Oh, the mic turned off.
oh, it's okay. All right, now.
Yes.
Yes.
Linda says yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We can read it.
You got yours turned off?
Yeah. It's off. I just turned it up.
Turn it off.
Yeah. Should be a signal on there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right, we're gonna get through this one. All right, can you see us okay, me, champ?
Yes.
All right, so if everyone can hear us now, we're gonna speak up a little bit. We'll use the microphone built in by Apple. And hope everyone can hear us well. So we're gonna make up for lost time by jumping right into it. We are starting our guard dog school in session. Officially, we'll begin Friday, 10 o'clock. We'll start with some classroom time. We want to explain terminology, words that we use in the guard dog industry to describe what we're getting out of our dogs, how the dogs work. Every industry has its own vocabulary, right, Scott?
Absolutely.
So you can't play the game if you can't speak to everyone in the game. So we're gonna go over all those things that you need to know, the basics of how to start and communicate in the guard dog business. And then this is gonna be a hands-on, no talking, get her done, start school. How many different kinds of dogs do you think we're gonna have? How many we normally have?
Usually, what, different kind of dogs?
Different types. Herders, Dobermans, Mastiffs,
I think Western Shepherds.
Western Shepherds.
Usually we have, depending on turnouts, usually between 4 to 5 to, I've seen up to 6.
Yeah.
You know, we have a lot of people with shepherds and a lot of bully types, but
Right.
we had Australian come in, Jordan dogs, Mals,
Catahoula.
Catahoula.
Catahoulas, had an Airedale last week.
Yeah.
What?
Bulldog boxers.
Bulldog, boxer. So,
It's a wide
yeah,
band across the board. It's not just shepherds. It's not
Right.
just bullies. It's not just, it's,
Pit bulls too.
but all dogs.
yeah,
Breeds and personalities, let's just say that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the reason is in the guard dog business, you know, if I've gotta buy, you know, $8,000, $10,000 Malinois from Holland like the police and military do, I'm gonna be out of business pretty dang quick, you know? And plus, those dogs are not trained to handle and work by themselves like a true guard dog is. So we're gonna invest in a lot of different types of dogs. Some of the toughest dogs I had were mixed breeds in the guard dog business. We're gonna show you how to identify the triggers in a dog, how to read a dog so you know if he's able and capable of stopping a man. All dogs are capable of doing basic protection work, but is your dog capable of doing it all on his own? These are the tricks we're gonna try and show everybody while they're here. A little bit, you know? And there's other things in general that'll help you with your general dog knowledge. One of my pet peeves, I've been reminded because I've had 2 phone calls kind of on this topic today. So you hear all these trainers tell you gotta be alpha, right? And you'll ask, well, how do I be alpha? And they'll say, well, you don't let the dog sleep in bed with you. You don't let the dog go through the door first. And,
Right?
you know,
What did you just say there?
you don't let the dog go through the door first.
I'm an alpha. I let my dog and my wife through the door first.
And why, yeah, there you go. Good point. Yeah.
We'll let her wait on. You stay here and I'm going in, you come in after me.
Yeah. And, you know, think about it. In their natural settings, I try to take everything back to what dogs existed with without human interference. Dogs don't know what a bed is. They don't care if they're sleeping on your bed or on your floor.
The only reason they're there is 'cause they're next to you.
They're next to you.
You sleep on the floor, sleep on the floor. You sleep on the couch, sleep on the couch. Sleep on the stairs some nights. You sleep on the stairs too.
Right.
It don't matter.
No. And the biggest pet peeve I got is you can't let a dog walk through the door in front of you. Now, see, these are all control freaks that believe this sort of stuff. They just want control of the dog. They don't want to train the dog or work with the dog.
Why?
So I don't know, Scott. What would,
Why though? Why would you want to do that?
I don't have a reasonable
Because if I
opinion.
got if I got a dog, and he's
Uh-huh.
my personal protection dog, and he makes me feel safe,
Mhm.
maybe I don't want to carry a gun. maybe some people don't like that, they wanna have a dog next to them, which is their pistol. So when you enter a place, you make your dog sit outside and wait till I open the door in first, and you're vulnerable in the front end. Dogs always go in first,
Right.
okay? And then you're just gonna, if the dog's bull rushing the door, that's on the handler and that's on you.
Yep.
Take my house, leave my dogs from here, go home, off leash, let them out, they run to the front yard, go to the front door, they got a routine, and they'll wait. I'll walk up, because they're faster than I am, they're excited to be outside.
Yep.
They'll come up to the door, look at me, call the door, I said, hang on a second. I'll sit there, I'll open the door, and the dog will walk in, and I'll call the dog.
Right.
Now on leash,
Well, that's-
different situation, right?
Right.
Whatever, somewhere in a public place. Dog goes in first. He's not behind me, he's in front of me,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Now something happens behind you. Repositioning, your dog's already in. All you gotta do is go to the side, the dog will right back at and catch him in the backside. If your dog's behind you, you're in front. That's a quagmire to me,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? So that's not my opinion, that's just the way that's the way it is.
How about a real life situation from the guard dog business? And we'll, as we teach through the weekend, we'll relate several of these actual happenings, so you'll understand why we train the guard dog the way we train them. And as far as this walking, letting you go through the door first, I had a customer who went for 2 weeks down to Padre Island. Some of you may have heard me mention this before. And they came back home and they pulled into the driveway 9, 10 o'clock at night. Husband says to the wife, you didn't turn all the lights off. Damn lights in the living room been burning all week long, 2 weeks now. And she said, no, I turned them off before I lit. And about that time, the lights shut off. Now, do you want to go open your front door and tell your dog, wait back there, I'm going in first? Or do you want your dog to go in there? They own a Rottweiler, by the way. First. I rest my case.
But there are nuances there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's not being habit, it's just the way it is. I mean,
right,
the nuance.
right,
When the dog gets in the a dog ain't gonna barge and scratch at the door, it's dog knows.
yeah,
You got people out here, and you know who you are, they come here, do protection work, and they're having a dog through the front of that gate to go in that pen to bite you. They don't wanna sit there, let the dog in, he wants to come in and say hi and
yeah,
get a bite.
yeah.
You know, just,
Yeah.
you know. You told me that about 5 years ago.
Lord,
I was
that's it.
because I was doing it. You wait here, I'm the master here, you wait, I'm gonna open the door, wait, you follow me in. It was the exact same, why? And then I said, you know what? Why?
Yeah.
So, you know, 'cause, you know, I just cover the back end, you cover the front end.
Yep, yep. So these are the things we're gonna try. This is gonna be not only about training a dog, but about tactics, about how to address situations. What do you do if there's a home invasion? What do you do if 4 guys suddenly kick in your front door? What do you do if you're on a picnic and some guy comes running by and snatches your wife's purse? What happens if you've got 4 or 5 people in here in this big city of Dallas? I'm not in Dallas, never will be. It's a great place to live, it's just not for me, so. But I hear a lot about some of the holdups in the certain areas. And it's almost always 2 punks.
Others is, there was a guy from Houston, he was up here, and we're doing a building in downtown Dallas, and we get to the job about 4 in the morning. Had tower crane, long story short, he was on the backside of Greenville Avenue, if you know where Greenville Avenue is, coming in, across to the uptown, we call it, and, he was in Moran, come in and hit a stop light. All of a sudden, there's a guy walking in front, across the sidewalk, across the crosswalk, across the street. Looks in his mirror, there's a guy that stuck behind his truck. He had it was a 2002 F-250, nice pickup. You saw the guy in the mirror coming around, sticking behind the truck, come on his driver's side. So everything is, I'm getting at is everything, there's scenarios. These guys they didn't come up with this robbery, they're planning this stuff.
Yep, yep.
So, with that saying scenario, but they're planning it. That's what they do,
Right.
professional thieves.
Right,
Like you done
right.
with those trains, on the border, with the trains coming from Mexico,
Yeah.
your guard dogs.
Jumping in, yeah,
It's
yeah,
all planned out.
yeah. So that, and these are the things we're gonna touch on, as well as the training of the dogs, how you get them to be doing what they're doing. You know, you've got to have the defense built up in the dog. You've got to have the dog serious enough to fight, and that's the only way you're gonna get it. But you also have to have the confidence, because the dog's working by himself, so you've gotta have the prey drive up. You've gotta understand that there are things that a man can do to a dog if he's not trained properly, that means, you know, Scott mentioned it, okay, so there are professional thieves in Mexico, who we're always hearing about over the border and all the bad people, right?
They're here between Dallas.
Yeah,
Any
they're
big city in
everywhere.
America,
Right.
every city, they're
Right.
professional thieves.
Yeah, and the boys that, I mean, I actually got to be friends with a bunch of the thieves in Mexico. A couple of them broke into my customers' yards, they got chewed up. I guess I'll go ahead and say this, my rule was, that when I first started in the business, if we caught somebody, I'd call the cops, and I'd wait an hour and a half for them to show up, because I already had the culprit, they didn't have to worry about it. And I realized I'm just losing time, so I changed my game plan. If we caught somebody, they were in the yard, the dog would cheat them up, I had a couple of drivers, we had a first aid kit, and for those of you who don't really understand dog bites, believe me, I've got a PhD in them, and how to fix them. We had a first aid kit on every van, and when someone was seen on the property cornered by one of our dogs, we doctored them. We made sure they were okay. We told them to go tell all their buddies, because these are all pros, they're working in a group, in a network, that they know each other. We reminded them what my guard dog sign looked like, and we just told them, when you go back and have your friends, you know, check the doctor, make sure you're not infected, here's your antibiotics, and tell all your friends, when they see this sign, stay away. And you know, that was the best thing I ever did for business, because
Deterrence.
they would all see my sign and go 4 buildings down. So, along with the tactics, we'll probably sit around and I'll probably tell some stories like that. I'll give you some ideas of what it's really like when you're working at night. These boys are pros, and what a pro can do, and I've seen them do it, is kill your dog. Because they dealt with dogs, they were fully trained. They've dealt with dogs. Some guy who had a business bought and threw in the yard thinking he was tough. And that dog's no longer with us. So, if you're gonna run a professional guard dog company on the US-Mexico border, your dog cannot just be something that goes up and goes woof woof, and bites somebody in the armpit. He's gotta be able to get through the night, holding that person at bay, and survive.
It also works too at your house. You're in bed sleeping, your dog's down there, someone breaks in the backyard, trying to bust your door down, dog's down there, dog will take off and take care of this.
Right.
By the time you get down there, you're not holding the dog on the leash.
Right.
Same situation, different situation, but same
Same situation,
application.
yeah.
And now there's lives involved in the house.
Right,
So, I mean,
right.
that's what I take from when you tell me about the guard dog business. And the professional guard also, but it's applicable to personal
Yeah,
protection.
personal protection, exactly. I'll give you one other application. Talk about the home invasion situation, it's real simple. The biggest problem with a home invasion is you go to the door and they kick the door in your face. But if you've got a properly trained dog, he'll tell you when they're walking up the driveway to your house, to your door, so that gives you a shot. So,
And you might have a sneaky dog that won't bark at all and let it in and chew up.
ooh, those are the best kind. The kind you always hear about, the ones that let you come in, but won't let
Yeah.
you get out, and there are dogs like that, folks, there are. So, anyway, we're gonna start officially 10 o'clock Friday morning. We'll go through, all day Friday, all day Saturday, we will be training dogs. We will be training dogs for MMA, canine fighting. If you think you wanna learn, or if you think you wanna show off. You know, I'm still up for learning,
Me too.
Scott too. So, come on out, you can give us a call, let us know you're coming, we'd like to get a head count, we will have dogs available. There will be a hands-on training, seminar. We will have a little greeting, shaking howdy tomorrow night if you wanna come out a little bit early. Meet the champ and, shaking howdy with the rest of us.
And I'm showing off.
And she's showing off, you heard it there, folks, so that's worth seeing right by itself. So come on out, we look forward to a big weekend with
Absolutely,
a lot of gnashing and gnawing.
absolutely.
See y'all,
Right?
see you Friday,
See
see
you
you
Friday.
Thursday night.
When you're coming, driving down here, we'll find out what you're doing, it's all about the dogs.
It's all about the dogs.
See ya.